Alright, I wanted to actually talk during this one. This video is going to be 4 matches of Tier Limit versus Kashtier1, because this format has been quite a lot of that, quite a lot of Kashtier1. And then in the last game, I will show you one of my biggest brain moments in Master Duel. Though in the fifth game, I'm not using this Tier Limit deck. I'm actually using the Invoked Mech Knight deck from the last video. But I've been trying to grind out to Master rank. I think the highest I got was Diamond 2. So if I can get to, you know, any Master level and at least get my gold border, I'd feel pretty happy about it. I just feel like I don't play sometimes often enough to get from plat all the way to master in a single season. But I feel good about this time. I think I'm gonna be able to get it. But here we have a Mill 11. It's always something. And I just wanted to end on a strong enough board here. I keep the Sulliek in hand because the idea is I'm going to negate something with Grapha, send Sulliek, search a monster, and that's going to give me a monster in hand for crime. Or at least that's the hope, right? Fortunately for me, it does work out well. And I end up going for triple fusion summons during my opponent's turn. Though the Shiren into Garura wasn't necessarily intended. But I am in such a winning position, I'm not that surprised when my opponent surrenders. Game 2, I'm going second, but here you see Gamma Nib. What a powerful combo. And I mill nothing. I wanted to show that I mill nothing. And then I banish 3 good cards. Or I get 3 good cards banished off of Riseheart. But we nib at the appropriate time, and I feel like I'm in a pretty winning position already. I think my major goal here is to just go for Kaleido Heart. And here I thought about how to go for game, and I just realized Dark and grabbed Diablosis' game. I think my hand trap lineup is pretty interesting in this format, and a lot of my decks, like hand traps and going second cards, are like interesting in the current format. People are still just playing Ashe and Maxi, and it's like, those aren't necessarily going to be the things that win games at this point. I don't know. I wanted to play something alternative, so we're playing Imperm Gamma Nib, in this deck at least. And like, Kelbeck itself is a hand trap in a lot of situations, so... And I mean, you know, just getting all the trap cards in hand is always so nice. And here, the absolute power of polymerization. Make a Garura, and my graveyard is already set up to actually go for 2 fusion monsters. So we make Grapha, again, keep the Sulliek in hand to send it to search a monster and have crime be live. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out that way in this duel, but you know, that's kind of the hope. I really just had to go for a basic play here and just attack and just pass. I have more than enough. I don't need to like risk doing anything. And yeah, sending the Sullik off of Earl Kalos is perfectly fine. So whenever I have Seamare and Rhino Heart, which one I summon depends on whether or not I have one of the tier limit trap cards. If I have one of the tier trap cards, I'll usually play Rhino Heart first. But if I don't, I'll usually play Seamare first. And in this case, it's really nice because I don't have to dump a tier name. I get to dump Gamma Seal, you know, so that way it's not like I have to, you know, worry about banishing one of my tier names early on. I only play one copy of Crime, so I never really count on sending it to the graveyard by card effect, if that makes sense. I'm not sure what my opponent was thinking there, but whatever. And this is the game where I said I think I make one of my biggest brain plays in all of Master Duel so far. And it might not seem like it's all that special, but like I was thinking and thinking and thinking for a long time, and then it just hit me like a ton of bricks that it would actually work. So again, more Kashtier1, this time with the adventure package. But Ogre doesn't really scare me. So I Widow Anchor the Griffin Rider to just, you know, stop the Omni Negate. I really don't mind one of my top 5 cards being ripped. I play 2 Invocations and, like, you know, I'm not really worried about any one card being banished per se. D-Fissure's really, really annoying here, and I could have done a lot more if D-Fissure wasn't on the field, but I had to attempt to go for basically everything I could. Use Morningstar as condition to get over Griffin Rider and try to deal a little bit of damage. I keep the World Legacy Secret in hand just to negate the Kashtier1 preparations. Because, like, I knew I would need to. Again, I don't care if they rip a card. Anything being banished in this deck doesn't really matter. And then he makes Big Eye, and I'm just confused. Because, like, Supreme is a Towers. It can't be targeted. And it could attack directly. But yeah, it's untouchable, right? I don't think this deck I don't think Kashtier1 the deck has any actual way to beat Spectrum Supreme. So I just leave it on board. So he plays really, really hard. Now, I understand why, because you kind of have to if you want to out the Spectrum Supreme. But he plays into a very, very hard nib. I absolutely capitalized, but how do I get over the token? How do I get over the token? And then at some point it hits me. Azalea into Lightning Storm, and I felt very, very confident at this point. Now I could have gone for the second invocation, but I just wanted to have the option for monster or spell negate, and also like one of the two is guaranteed follow-up. Earlier off of the Ogre, he did not banish the second invocation from my deck, and so I still had the second invocation in the deck.